Vikings, let's win this game.
Vikings fans, buckle up, because the heat in Minnesota is off the charts right now. First up, the Vikings just got a concerning update about their defensive mastermind that could shake up NFL front offices. There's also a free agent proposal floating around that could bring in an all-pro receiver to suit up in purple and rescue an offense before the season even kicks off. On top of that, fans are finally getting some good news about a team star showing signs of returning sooner than expected, which could completely change the game plan for the opener. And we've got all the details about a player who just left the team, found a new home overnight, and will now be lining up against the Vikings this season. You won't want to miss a single detail. Welcome. Show your Viking support by reaching 100 thumbs up on today's video. If there's one name that, in recent years, has become synonymous with a defensive transformation in Minnesota, it's Brian Flores. Since arriving in 2023, he's taken a defense that was a league punchline and turned it into a machine for turnovers and pressure. But now the challenge isn't about what happens on the field, it's about what's happening off it. The defensive coordinator, now in the final year of his contract, just got a bombshell. The United States Court of Appeals has allowed him to take his legal battle against the NFL forward, accusing the league of discriminatory hiring practices toward coaches. This is massive. On one hand, it's a historic win not just for Flores, but for anyone who believes in transparency and fairness. On the other hand, it throws a big question mark over his future. The more he pushes the NFL in court, the more other teams might hesitate to offer him a head coaching job. And here's the twist. While it could scare off other franchises, it might actually boost the Vikings' chances of keeping him in Minnesota. The impact goes way beyond the playbook. This is the guy who took our defense from 31st in yards allowed to top 5 in points allowed. The guy who led the league in takeaways last season. Losing Flores now would be like pulling the conductor out of an orchestra mid-performance. Fans are split. Some see his fight as inspiring and are saying, "Lock this guy up now, Kwesi." Others worry that the battle could be a distraction, especially in a year when the focus has to be razor sharp for a playoff push. My concern: if the front office waits until the end of the season to negotiate, we could end up in a bidding war, and then things get tricky. The smart move? Re-sign Flores now, lock him in, and send the message that Minnesota is his home. But there's another side. Flores has made it clear he wants another shot as a head coach, so he might not want a long-term deal if that's still in his sights. And that's just the beginning, because the next update could shake up the Vikings offense even more. Vikings fans were already reeling from losing Rondale Moore for the entire season, but now the true extent of the problem is coming into focus. It's not just one receiver down, it's a combination of absences that could leave the offense dangerously thin. Justin Jefferson is still recovering from a hamstring injury, Jordan Addison is suspended for the first 3 games, and if nothing changes, there's a very real chance we open Week 1 with Jalen Nailor and rookie Ty Felton as our top 2 targets. Let's be honest, that's an offensive coordinator's worst nightmare. Enter a name that turns heads and sparks debate: Odell Beckham Jr., the veteran, Super Bowl champion, and creator of some of the most iconic NFL moments, has made it crystal clear on social media that he's not retiring and still has gas left in the tank. "I'm not done," OBJ wrote, warning that the day he retires, he'll be the one to say it. And this isn't just talk. Insiders like Tom Pelissero say multiple teams have already checked in. The question is simple: is it worth the gamble? Beckham isn't just a player, he's a huge personality. Rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy would have to handle the pressure and the spotlight that comes with a star like OBJ. But in terms of raw talent, he's still a far better option than relying solely on rotational players and mid-round rookies. His recent track record is mixed. In 2023, alongside Lamar Jackson, he flashed WR1 potential. But in 2024, he totaled just 55 receiving yards, raising questions about his durability and impact. Still, at 32 years old, you can't say he's finished physically. For Kevin O'Connell, it's a tough call. Starting the season with limited weapons could stall McCarthy's growth and overload the run game. Bringing in OBJ would be a high-risk, high-reward move that could ignite or disrupt the locker room. Fans, as always, are split. Sign him now, because without weapons, this offense will suffer. Versus, we don't need drama, we need stability. Whatever the decision, it'll say a lot about how far the Vikings are willing to go to keep their playoff dreams alive. But hang on, because the next story might just help Vikings fans breathe a little easier. After weeks where every injury update seemed to punch another hole in our hopes, finally, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is Christian Darrisaw. Our beast of a left tackle, who suffered a major knee injury last year, is getting closer to returning to the field for Week 1. For a team that's recently lost Rondale Moore, Zeke Correll, and Matt Nelson, Having Darisaw back is like adding a brand new weapon without making a trade or spending a dime in free agency. Here's the deal. Darisaw isn't just any left tackle. He's the blindside protector, the guy who gives the quarterback breathing room and opens lanes for the run game. Since taking over the starting job, he's ranked among the league's best. Losing him was like punching a hole in the fortress wall. Early in the offseason, the outlook was grim. Most thought he wouldn't return until mid-season. But in a surprise twist, he avoided the physically unable to perform list, got back into team drills, and according to reporters is trending in the right direction for the opener against the Bears. Ben Gessling of the Star Tribune even said he'd bet on Darisaw being ready for the first game. That changes everything. J.J. McCarthy, still adjusting to NFL speed, needs a stable pocket to grow. Without Darisaw, that stability vanishes. With him, the offensive line gains confidence. Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason get more room to run, and Kevin O'Connell's playbook can open up. The coaching staff will be careful. Don't expect to see Darisaw in preseason games. The goal is to have him ready and healthy on September 8th against a fierce Chicago defense. If he can't go, Justin Skule, Walter Rouse, or even Blake Brandel would have to step in, and every fan knows none of them bring the same level of protection. Darisaw himself says he trusts the process and won't be rushed back. Fans are already dreaming of the moment he steps on the field, paves the way for a touchdown, and reminds everyone why he's elite. And while we're riding that wave of optimism, here comes the fallout from a locker room incident that stunned everyone. In the NFL, a single moment can change a career, and Brian Asamoah just lived it. The linebacker, a 2022 third-round pick, found a new team within 24 hours of being abruptly cut by the Vikings after a heated practice incident. It started with a hard hit on Aaron Jones that didn't sit well with teammates. Veteran offensive lineman Will Freeze confronted him, and suddenly, chaos, shoves, a scuffle, and a punch from Asamoah that sealed his fate. Even though he played in the preseason game against the Texans, his time in Minnesota ended just days later. The twist? Before the dust settled, the Tennessee Titans swooped in and claimed him off waivers. In one day, he went from the center of controversy to getting a fresh shot in a new locker room. For the Vikings, the move sends two clear messages. Discipline is non-negotiable, and the linebacker competition was too fierce to keep someone making those mistakes. Even before the fight, Asamoah's spot was shaky. He'd fallen down the depth chart, logging far more special team snaps, 802, than defensive snaps, 188, over 3 seasons. In 2024, it was even worse, only 33 defensive snaps. Competition this year included Blake Cashman, Ivan Pace Jr., Eric Wilson, and rookie Kobe King, leaving little room for him to shine. His exit opens the door for lesser-known names. Max Tooley, cut earlier in camp, was re-signed immediately. Undrafted rookies Austin Keys and Dorian Mousey now have a slightly clearer, though still uphill path to making the final roster. So here's the question for us fans. Did we just lose a guy who needed more patience? Or was it the right call to protect locker room focus and discipline? Some say he never lived up to his draft slot. Others think he had untapped potential. Either way, with the season closing in, there's no margin for error. With all of this on the table, one question remains. Which headline grabbed you the most, and what other moves do the Vikings still need to make? So let's keep that energy going. Share this video, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button for all the latest Vikings updates. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go!